Hello and welcome back to the Pin Podcast. I am your host, Pin Up Miami. And if you're a first-time listener, welcome. I hope you stick around. And if you are returning, thank you so much. I love you all. We're on episode number 33 at the Pin Podcast, where we talk about modern topics with a vintage flair. And if you guys want to find out about a guest, ask questions, make sure to follow us at the Pin Podcast Official or on my Instagram, Pin Up Miami. And today I have like the epitome of vintage with a modern flair. We have Víctor Rocco. How are you? Oh, well, friends call him Rocco. Woo, how are you?
I'm so excited. I'm very excited to be here with you. One, because you're super nice. And two, because to me, you are very iconic when it comes to this beautiful world of pinup and rock and roll and 50s that I absolutely adore.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, it's my passion. So I try to bring happiness and fun and beauty and empower women with it, with my love of vintage and rockabilly. And you do the same because you have, tell me, first let's talk about you. What is your background in entertainment?
In the entertainment industry, well, I'm an actor. I gone to school to prepare for musical theater. And my real background when it comes to musical theater is Spanish musical theater. And I had the opportunity of coming here to the States and get more shaped.
From Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, I'm from Puerto Rico with a mother from the Dominican Republic, so I have that mix, from the Caribbean. And nothing. I've been here and studying theater and musicals, and I'm very excited to be here with you. Did I answer your question, or did I went somewhere else with your question?
No, that's a good answer. You answered the question. So, what kind of musicals were you? I love musicals. Like, what was your first musical? Did you sing? Are you a singer? Yes.
Well, I sing, yes. I don't consider myself a singer. I am an actor that knows his voice and I can sing, but I don't consider myself a singer. I'm a first actor, and then I could sing, and I could also dance. One of the first musicals that I ever saw was Grease, and that made me fall completely in love with the era. But one of the first musicals that I participated on, I don't know if you ever heard of the musical Bye Bye Birdie.
Yes.
Which is also from that era. So that was my first musical ever performing. But before that, I had the opportunity of in Puerto Rico. They did a lot of variety shows, and in those variety shows, they had like a 30-minute montage. And they actually did like from scratch a musical, but with Puerto Rican songs and they just made up a story and they put those songs together. And so that was how I really started.
As a Puerto Rican, do you like West Side Story?
I love West Side Story. That's really, you know what? And I'm waiting for the new version with Steven Spielberg.
I was going to ask you.
I'm so excited. I'm really, really excited. I've seen some some footage that some people have leaked in the internet, and I love what I leaked. Thank you. So I told you every time that I mess up with the pronunciation. So thank you. And yes. I want you guys to know that this is my first English interview. So I am my English interview virginity with you.
It's so scandalous. We're going to be on TMZ. Rocco losing his virginity on the Pin Podcast.
So I'm very excited, and I like West Side Stories, not only because of the message, but because of the beautiful dances and songs. And it was just beyond my expectations the first time that I saw it. And I know that this time it's going to have like a particular Latin flavor, because actually the people that are playing the Spanish people in West Side Stories in this version, they are Hispanics. In the first one, we had a few. We had like maybe 5, maybe 4, con Rita Moreno and all that, but not all of them were Spanish. So now we're going to have more Latin flavor. So I'm very excited for that.
I'm excited. Have you ever seen the musical In the Heights?
Yes. That's
I want to see it.
You have not seen it?
No.
Are you kidding me? No way. That's
and I know they're coming out with a movie. That's what I hear.
You know what? Everybody loves Hamilton. And I liked Hamilton. I saw it and I liked it from the same writer, which is Lin-Manuel Miranda. But for me, his best work for me is In the Heights. I love In the Heights. I did not get bored enough for 1 minute. Maybe it's because the type of musical theater that I like is more into song more than rap. Although In the Heights has a lot of rapping, but Hamilton is more rap. So I love In the Heights, and you're gonna like it too. As a matter of fact, when we finish, I'll send you a link.
Yes, please. Hamilton, I love the music. So I knew all the music, and I was so excited when it came on Disney Plus because I was like, oh, I'm going to finally get to see it. And my sister saw it live. But then when I finally saw it, I was like, I like the music. But I don't know. I didn't really, I don't know. Some people would kill me for saying that, but I didn't like the whole thing together, but I liked the music separately.
I could see the hype. I could see why it's different. It's refreshing. It's something that, you're not expecting. So that's awesome. And for the people that, are from this era now that they like rap, reggaeton, and all that stuff, they can actually enjoy a story that has that type of music that they like. But me, I grew up with the real classical musical theater and with great melodies and stuff, not to knock off Hamilton, because I think that's a work of art. But if I went with either one of those two jobs that Lin-Manuel Miranda has done, I would go with definitely, yes. Plus, I could identify with the story because it's Puerto Rican, Dominican, and the Cubans and all that is awesome.
And what is your favorite musical?
Grease, and now my musical Radio Rock and Roll.
Yes, yes, musical radio. You want to keep? Wait, let's keep talking about you first, and then we're going to talk about your creation that I had the honor of seeing. I felt like VIP, but that's another story.
You are VIP. So the first musical that I ever saw was Grease. I'm 40 years old right now, and when I was, La Canita. So the first time that I actually went to the movie theater that I could remember going to the movie theater, it was 1987, and it was the 10-year launch of the movie Grease in Puerto Rico, and they launched it with the Spanish, not the Spanish tracks, but the Spanish voiceover.
Okay.
It was the first time I ever went to a movie theater that I could recall. And I could tell you that from the moment the movie started, I was like this. I could not believe what my eyes and my ears were seeing and listening to. I fell in love with the story, with the songs. I actually have the original records from back then from Grease and so that's my favorite musical of all time. When I saw it in Broadway with Laura Olson, I think that's her name. I'm not sure if you remember or if you recall, but there was a show that was called You Are the One That I Want, and they were choosing the Danny Zuko and the Sandy for the revival of Grease.
I gotta look into that.
So I went to Broadway and I saw it there, and then I saw it here as well. Plus, I've done Grease twice. One actually 3 times. One as a director for my workshop, for my Spanish workshop. One as an English actor, which was, as you could see with my accent, I didn't have a main role, which sucks. And then for the Spanish version, I was playing one of the T-Birds.
But I gotta say that your English is not bad. I would have never known that you didn't, like how you say that you don't speak English all the time, because for me it sounds really good. Or maybe it's because I'm Miamian and I get the vibe.
I think it's a complex. I'm so strict with. I love Spanish so much that yo cuido mucho el español. I take care of my Spanish. And so I look to see who speaks Spanish well, and I help them and I correct them if they mispronounce something. And because I do that, I'm very conscious of my English. Because
it sounds like you just pitched like the next Pixar movie. No. Taking care of the Spanish language. That could be the next Pixar tearjerker movie.
You know what? Let me actually write it down. So
there you go. You heard it here first. My favorite musical, I have a tie. I used to have the Broadway, like not the Broadway like in New York, but here in Miami and Broward, I used to have the season tickets. And I love Wicked and I love Phantom of the Opera. Like these two, they're my faves.
Wicked is, I think it has become a classic already. And I'm waiting for them to actually make a movie. Wicked.
That's going to be awesome. I hope it does justice. I read the book before I saw the musical, and I was like, when I first saw it, because I've seen it 3 times. Every time it comes to Miami, I've seen it, and I fell in love. And I can't wait to take my boyfriend because he's never been to a musical. Besides yours, but that was like a snippet. But he's never seen a musical.
You have to take him, and Wicked is an amazing experience. He's going to love that for sure.
Okay. And he knows the music though, because at home when I'm doing something, I love putting on like the Spotify Broadway, and he knows all the songs and he could tell me from what musical they're from, but he's never seen them. I think it's hilarious.
So funny. And it's so funny that you say that you hope that he makes justice to the actually show, because one of my favorite shows that I saw in the Edwin Arts Center, that it was with the original cast of the Broadway show, was The Jersey Boys, which is an amazing musical. However, the movie that Clint Eastwood made, I did not like it. I thought it was boring. I thought it had so much. I was very disappointed, and it's one of my favorite musicals. In the show, in the theater, it's amazing. It's like beam, boom, bang, a lot of stuff happening, and your eyes are everywhere, and it's like really upbeat. The movie, it dies.
Yeah. I fell asleep in the movie. I was like, the only reason I saw the movie is because I used to work in a pinup store, and they were using some of the dresses from the store, and I actually have one, but not from the movie. Like they sell them at the store. So I have one of the dresses, one of the green ones, and that's why I watched it. But I didn't really. I feel the same way because I have seen that one live, and it was amazing. But the movie,
And I felt so bad because I went with a group of friends that wanted to see another movie, and I was convincing them they never seen the show, including my husband. And I'm like, you have to come and see it. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna love it. All of them fell asleep. It was so boring, but it happened.
Have you ever seen a musical in Spanish?
Yes, absolutely. Since I grew up in Puerto Rico, and I had the opportunity of also working in the Spanish industry here in Miami, I've seen many musicals in Spanish, such as Visa para un Sueño, Jesucristo Superestrella, Vaselina, my own show, Radio Rock and Roll.
That's why we're leading into that.
But yes, in Puerto Rico, I've seen many original musicals that are not huge musicals like the ones for Broadway. But yes, I've seen many of them. And I've seen Broadway versions of them in Spanish, switched into Spanish. Have you?
I have never seen a musical in Spanish. I'm thinking. No.
Well, you have to. It has a lot of flavor, I must say.
I've seen operas in Italian, or that's it. I love opera too.
You know what? I seen probably in my lifetime about 2 operas, and that's it. It's not that I'm not a fan of it. I could very much enjoy it, but I just rather see more action and dancing and singing and a plot. And opera is very elegant. It's very, it has
dramatic.
It's very dramatic, but it has a different pace, So, but I'd rather a musical.
Yes, musicals are fun. They jump, excitement. Operas, I have cried.
You know what other musical I'm dying to see that was a huge hit in Spain and UK, and I don't think they ever brought it here, Dirty Dancing the musical.
Also, no, I know they did it on TV. No, I don't know if they did that on TV, like a remake. Sometimes they do like this musical live on TV. I don't know if they did Dirty Dancing, but I've never seen that.
I saw that version that you're speaking about, and it was a fiasco.
I don't like any of those live TV or like Rocky Horror Picture Show. They tried that, and
Grease I thought that they did a good job, and I
didn't see that one.
I think Grease was good. Grease Life was good. I think Peter Pan was good. The Sound of Music was good with Carrie Underwood, and The Wiz was also very good. Oh, and Hairspray was pretty good. Hairspray Live was pretty good.
That's the one musical I do not like.
Hairspray?
Hairspray.
Why? Why don't you like?
Because in my whole life, ever since I really started getting out there in the pinup world, I always get compared to Hairspray. And I feel like it's because you've never seen another person that is fat and has like big hair. So I don't know, with that connotation, I'm always like, if I get compared again,
But you know what I think it is? I don't think it has anything to do with the size. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of the people that are in tune with movies nowadays, that's the reference that they have from back in the days. Or
Grease.
Or Grease.
Which, that's why I guess I don't really go towards a lot of Grease stuff, because I feel like it's so stereotypical sometimes. Like, I love it. I love Grease. But then there comes to like when during COVID, when stuff started going into drive-throughs, and there was a lot of drive-through movie theaters, not drive-through, but like, the drive-in. Everyone and their mother played Grease. I'm like, guys. And then I got called to go talk about Grease. And I was like, what? I'm over this Grease for a couple.
You know what's funny? That nowadays moms give their kids, every time they go out or they want to visit somebody, they give their kids like a tablet or like a game for them to play, or the PlayStation if this particular person that they're visiting has a son or a daughter that have a PlayStation or whatever, one of these games. Well, back in the days, I had the movie Grease in the VHS, right? And it was a rule that if I went to my mom's friend's house, I was allowed to pop in the movie and watch it and rewind it and watch it and rewind it. So now that you're saying that, you remind me of how my mom was saying, if I see one more time this movie, I'm going to die. So I could completely understand, but I love it. It's just
the only difference between you and your mom is I'll feel that way, but then when you start playing it, I'm going to be singing along to it. I'm always a contradiction somehow, because I'll be like, it's so overplayed, and then like it'll be playing in the background, and I'll be like, you're the one that I want.
Can I tell you a secret? I love more the Spanish version in songs of Greek than in English.
I need to hear that, because I will be.
El verano se terminó, el verano que pronto pasó. Yes.
Listen up, guys, because you got to pay for this type of content.
So much fun.
Let's get to, so now talking about musicals, Spanish musicals, you created a musical radio rock and roll.
Yes, el musical radio rock and roll.
Sí,
and you know what? It's so funny that you asked me about that, because radio rock and roll began because a group of dreamers, we were doing Grease in Spanish here, and we were not able to launch it because we had a problem with the copyrights, and we were trying to work on it and pay for it, but they were making it so difficult, and we ended up not doing the project. But the project lasted on rehearsals for about 5 to 6 months. So I went home and I got a book and I started writing a story, and I put all the songs that I love from the era of the rock and roll, and I used the ones that helped me to tell a story. And then I started doing the translation of those songs into Spanish, and it was a very fun experience. It was, it was just like rediscovering the songs with some of them with another meaning and some of them with a Spanish flavor, as I told you. So I did this musical because of that. And little by little, I've been, working on it and picking certain things that I like and and fixing it to make it better and to bring a quality that everybody loves. And that's why I asked you that day to come in and join me, because I wanted to hear what you had to say, because I could definitely always use all of your ears and eyes to see this project and help me make it even better. Because my dream is to make it as huge as these musicals that we've been talking about in your podcast. And for me to be able to get there, I have to listen. I have to always progress and evolve the product, and only listening to people that really know their stuff, like, about fashion and different things. So that's what I'm doing. As a matter of fact, I have a surprise for you at the end of the podcast. Please ask me about a concert that we're going to, and I'll tell you all about it.
All right. I'm going to ask you. I really wouldn't, I know that when I first met you, I didn't know much about you, but I knew that you had like this like special gift of like, I think it's a special gift because it's rare. I don't see it often that people are willing to learn and improve their stuff. A lot of people are just set on like, okay, this is what's going to be, and that's it. So you could tell that something that you're always evolving and trying to get better. And I got to say, I love the show. I only saw, I forgot what you called it, but a snippet of the show. I'm missing a nail.
The thing is that I have a friend who is also the voice coach of my actors. And so she had a concert and she invited us to do a little performance at her concert. So I wanted to take my actors and develop them in this little medley for her show. It had nothing to do with our show, but it had the outfits.
Medley, that's the word.
The medley had I had them dressed in the outfits with the personalities of the show, and a few songs that we asked people what songs they wanted to hear, and so I got a bunch of different people requesting different songs, and that's the reason why Pretty Woman was there. That you're like, but wait a minute, that's not really from that era, and I'm like, no,
but if the people request it, there you go. You gotta give people what they want. After speaking to you, I totally see like the Jersey boy, my gosh.
The Jersey Boys?
Yeah, the inspiration into your musical. Of how, I could totally, oh my God, you even have the cup.
Yes.
There you go.
Branding.
Yeah, I have my cup, but I use it to hold my scissors for sewing.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I was going to tell you a little bit about the show. The Radio Rock and Roll is about this radio station. It's a Spanish radio station in the 1950s, late 50s, early 60s, that is going out of business because nobody would listen to them. Back then, it's not a secret for anybody that the main radio stations that were like in their peak were the American, the Caucasian, and with this Elvis and the Four Seasons and Frankie Lyman, because Frankie Valli was more from the 50s, but we're talking about early 60s. And so the story is pretty much about this group of people that work at the radio station the last day of the radio station being opened and having the problem that none of them want to leave. And they have to do something drastic to keep the radio station alive. And that's when all these songs that are the huge American hits of all time are translated into Spanish, and they sound amazing. And it's so much fun because it's a show for the whole family. For the kids, they have so much fun with the colorful outfits and the dancing
and the poofy skirts
and a vocabulary that they understand. But also it's fun for contemporary adults such as yourself and me that appreciate good theater. And at the same time, the people that are the elderly people love it because they can remember and reminisce about their time. So it's for the whole family. And that was like our check mark. Once we realized that we have a show that is inclusive for everybody, that does not offend anybody, that to the contrary, that is inviting that's when we realized that, we have a huge hit. It's just a matter of continuing the progression of the evolution of this show, which is what we're trying to aim for. And we're very excited.
And that's why I love about vintage and rockabilly, because and your musical translates it really well, is that it's nostalgic. So you automatically get like this calming feeling of enjoyment, So when you sit there and you listen to everyone in your troupe sings really well. So it's easy on the ears, and the music is like popping. You have the lights, so it really, really does transform you into another era. And I loved it.
It's so much fun. And another thing that I wanted to reflect on our show was to have different stereotypes. So you see, our show does not have like a lead per se. Everybody has equal, I would say, airtime, although it's a stage show, but I would say airtime. And it's very inspiring because we have somebody that has a speech problem. How would you say that in
a speech impediment or speech problem? You could,
yeah. Tartamudea. How would you say that?
A stutter.
There you go.
I don't know. I can't stutter.
We have somebody who's white. We have somebody who's black. We have somebody who's chubby. We have somebody that is very thin. So we have for all the flavors and
it's relatable.
So beautiful to see all of us, and I could see myself in different characters, and that's so beautiful. And that's something that we wanted to also add to that.
The show must go on.
The show must go on.
I love Moulin Rouge. But
and it's so sad that we're closed. You know what? I'm so mad. All the clubs are, open, restaurants are open, everything is open, but the theater, we can't have it open. That's terrible. That's something that I want to talk about also.
But before we get into that, what I was saying before was that I love the La Bamba in your musical, how it was portrayed. Because usually that song is one of those that get played out, or it could be seen as a joke. But it was fun. The way you translated it into your musical, it was fun. And the guy that sings it, forgot his name, really made it work well. Yes.
Amado is a genius. He's like my brother. I love that guy. I mean, I love everybody, but him in particular, he's like...
We worked with him a long time.
Yes. That's what I love about him. He's a great actor. We have been fellow actors together on a stage. We have done many shows together, different shows. And now that I hired him to be one of our players on our show, the respect that he give us. And I mean, I love working with him. He's so professional, always on time, knows his craft, doesn't complain. He's so prepared. I mean, this guy is amazing. It's amazing to work with him.
And you could see that on the stage. I mean, I really enjoyed it because when I heard the Bamba tune playing in the beginning, I was like, oh no. But then I was like, yeah, here we go again. But no, he really, like I said, he really made it fun. And that's what you look forward to in a show. It's like, even if you've seen something a million times, like I'm sure you've seen, Grease a million times, it's such a good musical and they do it so well. It doesn't translate as being just like the same old thing. And that's what I like about your musical. It's like the same thing you've heard, but in a great rendition, like a different rendition that makes it fresh. Make sense?
That question, did you sing?
Yes, I used to be in musicals. Well, like in theater.
No way! Oh yeah, my God!
If I could pick like my dream job, it would be to be in Broadway. To be honest.
Well, I think after this is over, we have to speak about maybe an opportunity. Because if you
walk across the stage, hey.
let's talk about that when we finish this podcast, because I think we could do something interesting with you.
Okay. Yeah, I was in West Side Story in like one of those like acting places. I wasn't a main character, and then I was in Miss Saigon, which was the first thing I ever saw on stage. which was gorgeous.
I wanted to ask you, what inspired you? Well, I'm sure you have said it many times, but I wanted to be recording the podcast. What inspires you to keep the pinup and the nostalgia alive daily? Because it's not what inspires you to do it, because that you have probably said it many times, but what inspires you to keep it up, to always continue, the continuous effort that you do?
What really makes it easy is the way it makes me feel, if that makes sense. Like, especially in the last couple of years when I started making my own clothes, because I used to see a lot of like vintage outfits and I just couldn't fit in them. I've always been a bigger girl. So that's when I started learning how to sew, and that's kept me like wanting to try things. Like now that I've improved in my sewing, trying new things. Like recently I wanted to do, I know this is not 50s, but I've always wanted a 1920s outfit, but I wanted it to be, not looking like a 1920s, because 1920s people were flat and I would just look huge if I wore one of those dresses. But what I love about it and what keeps me motivated is always trying to experiment. And I don't know, it brings me so much joy. Like when I find, like, in front of me, I have my whole collection of lucite purses, and like I love collecting those. It's just so pretty, and my house, I love keeping it up, and it's just a joy.
Is your whole house vintage?
Yes, my whole house is vintage, except my bedroom. People will be surprised to know this is going to be the first time I said this on any of my videos, but my bedroom is actually the most non-vintage thing, except for my boudoir. I have a little boudoir with like old mannequins and bras. Like it's like I have a lot of mannequins in my house, and they wear like really like 90s that are cute. But the rest of my bedroom is very Gothic Victorian. Like, it's black. Yeah, it's black and red, and it's very goth. Like, I don't know. A lot of people compare it to the Kat Von D.
Well, three things that I want to say. One, the look for you is very flattering on you. I mean, it looks beautiful. I've seen your Instagram so many times, and I kid you not. No, it's not, and it's not to kiss ass. I'm just telling you the truth, how it is, how I see it. Is very flattering. Everything that you put on. So la moda from back then, the style is very flattering to you. It's beautiful. Another thing that I want to say is, I want to ask is, what are you planning to invite me to your house? Because I want to be in your house, girl.
Oh,
I go with my COVID test results in my hand. Can I come in?
Yes, well, I'm gonna invite you to my house, and then we'll do some fun vintagey stuff. Ooh, we should go thrifting together. That'll be fun.
Yes, I would love that. And my last question for you about this round of the conversation is,
it's so funny because I usually ask if you have any questions at the end, but give it to me.
my other question is, have you thought of opening your own store of, like, the physical store? Because I know that you have a lot of things that you brand and stuff, but like your own like physical store of original pieces.
That's one of my dreams. I was supposed to actually get it started in 2020. I had money saved up, but because of last year, what happened, a lot of my money went into saving my house. But so it's taken a back seat, but that is one of my dreams. There's a lot of little dreams that I have.
You've been very successful. I told you this in person. Maybe you don't see it like that, but I do see you as an icon of the legacy of what the pinup in the 50s is. So I see it like that. And I'm sure a lot of us that are seeing this podcast right now or hearing this podcast feel the same way. Mm-hmm. I respect your craft tremendously because you commit to it and you do it with such taste. Oh, so I can see it being
I'm blushing.
No, it's not serious. I can see it being very successful.
Mm-hmm. Well, since you hit me with all those questions, I'm going to hit you with a couple of questions that I got from Instagram. So let's do this. So you answered this one. How did you get started? Mm-hmm. What is your favorite song for the band to perform, for the musical to perform?
I have two.
Okay.
The first one, which is called Radio Rock and Roll, is the opening act.
It's an original, no?
It is. It's an original song that soon we're going to be launching as in the big platforms so everybody could hear it. And I love our own version of the Jersey Boys. Like we have like a little Jersey Boys medley. It has Big Girls Don't Cry, Sherry, and Walk Like a Man Together. And I love that. I just love the clean dancing and singing. Love it.
And the harmonies.
Yes.
Okay. How was it in the beginning of your musical? Like, I'm guessing they're asking, I don't know, the
struggles?
Yes, like the struggle. I know you had the struggle with copyright. That was interesting to know. You know, some people don't think about all that.
I was actually with Grease, and I was not the director or producer.
That was for Grease. Okay.
And we were so let down that we couldn't do it, that when I came home, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to stay with this. And I started writing. The struggle with Radio Rock and Roll was to find the correct actors for the show. Mm-hmm. It was to find the right people for the right roles, because there's amazing singers, but they can't dance. And there's amazing actors that can't sing. So for me, was first voice, good. They have to be very good voices. And then okay dancers, but that I could mold into Spanish actors. And so that's how I started, casting. So for me, the hardest part was the whole process of casting. I think that was the biggest struggle.
What is your favorite location to play? What's been your favorite location to play in the musical rock and roll?
Alfaros. Alfaros has been our house, and we've done shows and special presentations in different places. We've been lucky enough to do that. And Alfaros has been my favorite. And I'm going to tell you why. It has a vintage feel to it. And when it's full of people, it feels very welcome and home and
intimate.
Cold. And everything is supposed to be taking place in a radio station. So it feels like the back in the days radio stations that had like a little stage and people could go there and see live shows at the radio stations. So I loved it there. Now we're going to take it this in this fourth season to a huge stage and build a big set. And that's when COVID came. So I'm sure that when I get that opportunity with the whole cast, that's going to be my favorite place.
I think so too. And then I'll be eyeing those props. Okay, so next question.
I can wait because you can please says nothing because you're going to help me. So if something's wrong, it's because of you.
And then I'll be like, no, I'm saying I'm going to take the props home. Like,
you because of that? Oh, God. Now I know who's going to take them. Now I'm gonna
because there's actually my friend, he's the one that made the telephones that are hanging in the wall, and the one I used for the promo photo, he made that off of one of my vintage phones. He does production sets for a company in Margate. And whenever he does like events and stuff that are retro inspired or something retro, he gives me the props that the company is going to throw away. So I have in the back room like this huge like retro TV that says I love pinup, because it was for a party, and I think it said I love Vivian, but he changed it to say I love pinup, and he gifted it to me. And then I actually have little like big foam things, vinyl record players that say Grease on them as decor,
Yeah, cool. I can't wait to see it.
Let's see. You'll be invited. I promise. So the next question is, how is COVID affecting musical radio rock and roll?
Tremendously. COVID has affected us tremendously, because we were actually ready and set to go, and we have sold tickets for the show. We were already prepared, and they told us no. Mm-hmm. What we did was, we had a meeting and we said, okay, so we have this passion, this project that we cannot for anything let it die. So we have to do something about it. So we reinvented ourselves. And what we did was we launched the Instagram that I have it right here. It's called musical underscore and our YouTube channel. And what we did was we started developing a documentary of everything that has occurred behind the scenes. So soon you guys are going to be hearing a little bit more about that, and also music videos of different songs that people wanted to hear, either from the show or that were not on the show that people wanted to see the Spanish rendition of it. So far we have a song that is called Steady Eddie. That in Spanish is called Eddie Eddie. And we have Pretty Woman in Spanish. And we also have Chica Yeye that hopefully in the next few weeks we're going to be launching it.
Ooh, I don't know if that one's not in the medley, right? I remember the Eddie one because it was Eddie Eddie.
In English it's Steady Eddie, dun dun, steady Eddie. That's something like that. So, but Chica Yeye is a flat out Spanish rock and roll from the '60s song. It's not. It was not an adaptation. It was flat out Spanish. It was back then for the Spanish people, and I included it in the show.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, how are the songs picked?
Well, there's a story to be told, and so I needed songs that help me to tell a story. It had to make sense. Every show has to have different dilemmas or problems to be solved at the end, because there has to be a story that has a beginning, middle, and end. And there's a few things that has to have a structure within the story. And so that's when I started listening to different songs. Okay, so this verse and this verse from this song could help me to tell this part of the story, but in English it doesn't make sense. But I could adapt it to Spanish, and I could make it say another thing in this particular area, and so forth. And that's how I started adapting different songs, and that's how I picked and choose different songs. However, at the end of the show, there's a surprise, and there's several songs that not necessarily are telling a story. They are performing those songs for an audience. So at that point, all the ones that I loved and I didn't want to compromise taking them out because they didn't help me with the story, I put them there. So
smart. You're sneaky. Yeah. And the last question that I have is the lineup of your musical, like the songs that you use, the same as today? I'm guessing if.
Go ahead, elaborate.
The same as day one, or has it changed? So are you using the same songs as when you first made your musical? Have you changed, added?
I changed and I added. I listen to the professionals, and there's certain things that do not add up. For example, the first time that we were on stage, like the following day, I switched a song, and the girl had to learn a whole new song and a choreography for the following day. Mm-hmm. I had a song that was called Más Bonita Que Ninguna from Rocío Dúrcal back in the day. And that is the only song that did not work out with the audience. And I switched it, and I went home that same night, and I started rewriting the script. So I would use Stupid Cupid in that part. So I went ahead and I rewrote a few things, and I adapted Stupid Cupid in Spanish, and I sent it, to the girl so she could learn it. And so I had to work with her 2 hours before the show, and she did an amazing job, and nobody knew. So awesome. I pay attention because, we're doing a show I'm not doing a show for me, for my own benefit and for my ego. I'm doing a show to entertain, for people to love it, like it, and want more. So we have to listen, and we have to adapt certain things and maybe change the lineup and so forth. So yes. And the lineup for the cast as well too. We have switched a few actors. Some of them because their careers have launched to do amazing and great things that I'm very excited. Some of them because they, unfortunately, they were not giving me what I needed for that particular character, so I had to switch them. But there's no hard feelings. Thank God we all get along.
Yes.
And I can't wait for us to do the premiere so I could have all my Eddies, all my Marias, all my, the different characters and the different people characters together. That would be so much fun.
Oh, that's gonna be like the reunion of Musical Radio Rock and Roll. I love the name.
Musical Radio Rock and Roll. Right here on Instagram and also
yes. I'm gonna make sure to put musical_radio rock and roll in the description. I'm gonna put their Instagram, their YouTube. Make sure to check them out. And
our YouTube is backwards. So YouTube, instead of saying musical_radio rock and roll, is backwards. It's Radio Rock and Roll Musical.
Oh yeah, Radio Rock and Roll Musical. And I mean, it's kind of obvious how you picked the name because it's rock and roll. But is there something? I was gonna ask you, how did you come up with the name? But I feel like it's a gift.
No, not necessarily. You're not far from it. But I also wanted the opportunity of maybe later on do an English version, and musical. And musical in Spanish is written the same, and rock and roll too. So I wanted a name that could cater to either Spanish or English.
And Spanglish.
There you go. So if I needed to make some switches or some changes, so there's a few things that I wanna tell you, but I'm not sure if you're done with the questions. Are you done with the questions?
Yes, that was the last question.
Well, there's a few things that I want to tell you. We are confirmed to be doing 2 live concerts at Alfaro's that is going to be called Noches de Radio Rock and Roll. And these concerts are going to have a few guests, either from the show or people that are well known in the Spanish industry that are singers, or even in the American community, English speaking artists that are going to come and sing those big hits from that era. Not necessarily only from the 50s, but also the 60s. And maybe we could get away with some 80s stuff. But we're going to try to keep it more into the 50s and 60s. And it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be nostalgia all over again. It's going to have amazing... the sound system at Alfaro's is beyond belief. It's so good. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and the lighting, well, I mean, I'm sure I saw a small version of it, but I loved it. And it sounded really well.
Yes, so I wanted to let you know the dates that we have already separated for that show. We have Friday, April the 16th. And we also have Saturday, June the 5th. So those are the two, June the 5th. And the one that is coming like right now is going to be April the 16th, which is a Friday night. So the show starts at 9:00, and I don't play around with the Spanish time. When I say 9:00, it's 9:00.
That's how I am with my events. I'm like, we start at this time.
We have to respect the people that, that get there on time. It's the right time. And so it's going to be fun. And also I wanted to let you know that we are coming out with kind of like a comic book of the show, Radio Rock and Roll.
That's going to be fun.
Yes, I can't wait to show you the few illustrations that I've gotten from the artist. Is amazing.
I mean, there should also be like a yellow-haired character.
Oh, we have. You're gonna love it.
Today I'm rocking a very casual 50s look, but
think of the Archies, Gemma the Holograms, Rainbow Bride, all put together in a blender. Boom, you got what we're working with.
Ooh, that sounds so exciting. And how can somebody buy tickets to the event? Like on your Instagram, you post it?
We're gonna have the event posted on eventbrite.com. And so I just literally spoke to Alfaro, I think it was yesterday. And I told him, look, I want to do something. This whole COVID situation has me going nuts because the theater where we're gonna do the show is closed. And so he goes, why don't you do a concert here? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a concert. We're going to do two. And I asked him for those dates and he gave them to me. So, and we are planning, we're looking for theaters, not necessarily to do the show with an audience, but to digitalize the show. Kind of like what Hamilton did for Disney Plus. We want to do that with, the whole set, the whole show. So we're looking into that as well.
Ooh, so many good things for the future of música, radio, rock and roll.
Radio, rock and roll.
I'm like, I'm stuttering now. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the full show. I know I got the honor of seeing the medley, but I'm so excited and pumped to be able to see the whole show.
Funny.
I want to thank you, Rocco, for being on the podcast. It means so much to me. And I've learned so much about you. It really just makes it all better.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here with you. As I told you, I respect you so much and I like what you do, the commitment that you have. I'm all about that, about people that are committed, they have goals, they want to showcase their talent and compartirlo, share their gift. You have a gift, to speak and to influence others, and you're using it, and I love that. That is so awesome. So I'm glad to be here with you. It was very fun.
Thank you so much. And next week, I am going to keep it musical because next week's guest is Miss Mozzie D. She is a singer, she's in a rockabilly band called Mozzie D. And she is the Southwest Queen of Rock and Soul. She's on the West Coast, and she's actually going to, she's supposed to, if it still happens, she's going to perform at Viva East. And if you guys don't know, I was Miss Viva East 2018. I was happily crowned. That was one of my favorite things. Yes. So make sure to watch next week, and I will see you all next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening and watching.